stuck choosing between alternatives for your future, such as going back to school, opening a business, or working for someone else? In this video, we'll be looking at that exact situation for a woman who is ready to reinvent herself after staying home with her child. Hi everybody, I'm Sue Ellen Clayton. Welcome to my channel where we're learning how to read tarot one card at a time. In today's video, we'll be using a 9-card spread to look at 3 potential career paths. I will be using the Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot, and there is a link below. Today I have a treat for you. This reading was submitted by one of the women who follows this channel, and I am delighted to do this for her. And if you'd like a free reading, as long as you're okay with it being posted under a different name on this channel, please email me at the address in the description. I will call this woman Amanda. From her email, I am guessing that she is in her mid to late 40s. She is married, has a young daughter, and lives in the United States. I'm going to share the entirety of her email because it is a great example of a complex reading with a lot of questions. The thing I want you to think about as I read is, what is Amanda's main question? And we'll proceed from there. So here's Amanda's email. Quote, "My reading involves worries about my decision to become a stay-at-home mom and my future career prospects. I had my daughter sort of later in life, in my 40s, and before then I had always been driven, focused, and ambitious in my pursuit towards my career and educational goals. I have a strong background in 2 completely different fields. One is a strong history of 5+ years in tech IT administration, and one is 5+ years in teaching, foreign language, and world cultures. I did phenomenally well in college and have always been gifted academically. Most of my teaching experience has been overseas in Asia. Upon returning to the States to marry my fiancé and build our lives together, I sort of fell into work after bouncing around different jobs centered around insurance, healthcare, customer support, and billing. I was okay with the work mainly because it seemed stable and respectable enough and allowed me to get on my feet and not completely mooch off my partner, who is more well off than me. We equally contribute in more than one way to our relationship, and neither of us feels completely mismatched in the relationship. Although maybe at times I feel sort of insecure since his family is very accomplished, well off, and close-knit. Sometimes our relationship dynamics can be overwhelming for me. I came from a working-class background with parents who didn't finish high school and started families very young. I am the eldest of 4, and my mom had me at 17. She was a kid herself when she had me. The transition to a full-time mom my first year was incredibly difficult. I struggled with insecurities that I had never had to face before, and even more disturbingly, some pretty harsh judgment from completely random people regarding my decision not to work. I felt that taking time off to care for our child, as well as run the home, cook and clean, was a full-time job, and even felt pretty angry that I somehow did not deserve to enjoy what may very likely be our one and only child after a period of infertility and uncertainty. Not to mention that childcare where I live can be extremely expensive. My decision to quit my job was easy for me, and I feel lucky and fortunate to have no regrets. My husband has also been supportive of my decision to stay home, and I feel we maintain a good budget and divide parenting responsibilities amicably. I see myself pursuing 3 different avenues or possibilities after my daughter is ready for school. I have always wanted to go back to school and pursue a master's or some kind of graduate degree. It could be in a tech-adjacent field or education-related field. I'm still not very sure. There's so many possibilities for this. Even some online certifications could qualify me for a good-paying job rather quickly as well. Or I could fulfill this pipe dream I've had since my days in Asia of opening my own franchised learning center. I need to secure a business loan to do that, and I'm so afraid of failing that I haven't gained much momentum in this endeavor, save for writing a few emails. Or I could do what I did before and start an office job in healthcare, capitalizing on my most recent job experience, likely through a recruiter or staffing agency. The pay would be dismal, I'm sure, but it would again earn me a little money to cushion the financial stress my husband already encounters. On some level, I do feel it's unfair to my husband to lean so heavily on his wealth and good-paying job, and it's never sat right with me that I didn't attain as much education as he's worked so hard to attain. I choose to be inspired by his accomplishments and am very supportive towards his career in every way I can be. We're both college educated, and for my degree, I'm grateful, but I'm afraid it just doesn't feel like I've done enough to be someone I'm personally proud of." Unquote. As I mentioned in the beginning, our first task as a tarot reader is to figure out Amanda's exact question. There is a lot here to unpack. She has given 3 potential career paths, but I think the essence of her question is in the last line of the email. It just doesn't feel like I've done enough to be someone I'm personally proud of. So I think the essence of this reading is, what do I need to do to be proud of myself? So that is the question we will answer in this reading. The next step is choosing what spread to use. Amanda seems to have 2 things that she wants from her job: emotional fulfillment and a good income. I'm going to use a 9-card spread. We will look at the pros and cons of each of the 3 career paths. Then I'll pull 3 more cards about what she truly wants, her passion, and her best path for the future. So let's get started. The first thing I did was clarify Amanda's 3 career paths. Path number 1 is pursuing a graduate career in education or a related field. I'm going to call this path school. Path number 2 is to open her own business, which is a franchise learning center. I'm going to call this path business. Path number 3 is to get an office job in healthcare. I'm going to call this path office. Now that I've got my spread figured out, it was time to pull the cards. Card number 1 is the pros of going back to school, and I drew the devil. Card number 2 is the cons of going back to school, and I drew the Ace of Swords reversed. Card number 3 is the pros of starting a business, and I drew the Sun. Card number 4 is the cons of starting a business, and I drew the 10 of Swords reversed. Card number 5 is the pros of working in an office, and I drew the World reversed. Card number 6 is the cons of working in an office, and I drew the 3 of Wands. Card number 7 is looking at what Amanda truly wants, and I drew the Knight of Swords reversed. The 8th card looks at Amanda's passion, and I drew Justice reversed. And the 9th card is about Amanda's best path for the future, and I drew the 4 of Pentacles reversed. First, let's talk about my first impressions. I think this is a large spread, so it was a bit overwhelming to try and find commonalities between the cards. We have a real mixture here. We have 4 major arcana cards. The Devil and Sun are upright. The Wheel of Fortune and Justice are reversed. The presence of so many major arcana cards indicates that this is a big deal for Amanda. It may be more than just trying to choose between 3 potential career paths. Of the 5 minor arcana cards, 2 are swords, 1 is wands, and 1 is pentacles. 1 is upright and 4 are reversed. There is no cups, which is interesting. Okay, let's take a look at each card. Card number 1 looks at Amanda's option of going to graduate school, and I drew the Devil. Although the Devil is a scary-looking card, it can actually be very positive. When the Devil appears, it means that you are giving your power away to attitudes or behaviors that are destroying you. Most often we consider this to include temptations, obsessions, compulsions, or addictions, but it can't just be your thoughts. This card can be an invitation to seek help to overcome any of these thoughts, attitudes, or behaviors that are holding you back. In Amanda's case, she seems to place a lot of weight on both earning money and earning the approval of people around her. She mentions a lot of harsh judgments regarding her decision to stay home with her daughter. I think that this people-pleasing behavior is something that she would do well to work on because it is causing her a lot of personal strife. I see one advantage of going back to school, and that is that it would be seen as a legitimate use of her time by her critics and by Amanda herself, because she can easily justify it because it will lead to earning more money in the near future. On the other hand, her critics may consider going back to school as a way for Amanda to avoid earning money by studying, so that may lead to more critical thoughts that she'll need to overcome. Amanda also mentioned that she's always wanted to go back to school and earn a graduate degree, So this would be a win-win for her in terms of fulfilling that dream and earning more money. The Devil card is about giving your power away, and one of these things is materialism. This is certainly true with Amanda and her focus on earning money. I'm sure that more money would be helpful. However, it seems like her husband earns a good living from his job and also has significant family wealth. I think one of the thoughts that Amanda might consider giving up is that she has to earn money to prove her worth. In this case, I think that earning a graduate degree has the potential to be transformative. Amanda mentions that she's been academically gifted, so I doubt she would have any difficulty with the schoolwork. However, she is uncertain of what she would study and is looking for choices that would result in a bigger paycheck. I think that's where the potential transformation lies. She may discover a course of study that she finds really fulfilling that will lead to a career path that she hasn't yet considered. And it might not be in a field that is entirely lucrative, but would be very fulfilling. So I think the big advantage of going back to school is that it would free Amanda from criticism, both from herself and others, that she isn't doing anything positive. It is something she wants to do, and it could potentially lead to a lucrative or fulfilling career in the future, potentially in an area that she has not yet considered. Card number 2 is about the cons of going back to school, and I drew the Ace of Swords reversed. In the upright position, the Ace of Swords represents a new beginning in the intellectual arena, which includes going back to school. The Ace of Swords is about truth and honesty, and would indicate that Amanda should do some soul-searching and decide what course of study makes the most sense in terms of both a career goal and also her personal development. In the reversed position, the Ace of Swords represents a lack of clarity, a lack of focus, and potentially procrastination. I think this is an issue for Amanda because she isn't sure of what she wants to study. She loves the idea of getting more education, something I can totally understand, but she isn't sure what areas she wants to study. Since her ultimate goal is to earn money quickly, I think this is a big problem. She has some decisions to make. Does she want to go to graduate school for personal development or for a lucrative career? If so, what does she want to study? Aces are at the beginning of the suit and do not guarantee success. There's a lot of work to do until you get to the tens. I think that Amanda may end up studying something that she doesn't enjoy just for the sake of earning money. There's nothing wrong with that, but remember that her goal is to be proud of herself. If she's going to spend the time, money, and energy to complete a graduate program, I think she needs to be clear on what her goals are and what she wants the outcome to be. She mentions that she already has a good education, so I'm not sure that some more letters after her name are going to give her the self-worth that she's looking for. Card 3 is about the pros if Amanda starts a business, and I drew the Sun. I think that the Sun is probably the happiest card in the deck. Here we see someone who has completed their journey, made it through past obstacles, and arrived as their true joyful self. I think this indicates that Amanda will be extremely happy in her decision to start her own business. Think about it. The Sun card represents success, vitality, optimism, enthusiasm, being able to see the truth, and finding your purpose in life. It's about celebrating your success and having a sense of childlike wonder, unencumbered by the problems of the past. So the positives of starting her own business are numerous. It appears it will bring her both personal fulfillment and financial success. Card 4 is about the cons of Amanda starting a business, and I drew the Ten of Swords reversed. First, let's look at the upright Ten of Swords. It represents hitting rock bottom and the end of a difficult time in your life. I think that this is a card that we all dread seeing when it comes up in the deck. Nobody likes to be left for dead with 10 swords sticking out of their spine. Swords are about thoughts, and I always think of each sword as representing a thought or idea that is painful and not particularly helpful. In this case, Amanda refers to her business idea as a, quote, pipe dream I've had since my days in Asia of opening my own franchised learning center, unquote. Then she goes on to say that she'd need to secure a business loan to do that, and, quote, I'm so afraid of failing that I haven't gained much momentum in this endeavor, save for writing a few emails, unquote. These are not exactly helpful thoughts. What I love about the Ten of Swords in the reverse position is that all of these thoughts and ideas fall away. Amanda could let them go. She could reframe her language from calling it a pipe dream to calling it my learning center or my business plans. She could take a look at her fear of failure and figure out how to succeed. She could create a business plan and figure out how much money she would really need. And is there a scaled-down version of her business that she could start on a shoestring? For instance, she doesn't have to lease a storefront and hire a staff. She might want to start by tutoring in her kitchen or teaching ESL in a local school. This is not in the cards, but I have a lot of experience in business, and there are local small business development centers around the United States that provide a lot of free resources to help people start businesses, including individual counseling. I've worked with counselors and also spoken at many of their events, and it is a great resource. I'll put a URL in the comments if you're interested. So I think the downside of starting a business is entirely Amanda's limiting thoughts, and those can be changed. You've made it this far in the video, and I wanted to stop and ask a favor if you're not already a subscriber, and that is to please hit the subscribe button. It is free for you, and it will also help me grow this channel. Plus, it means that you won't miss anything. Thanks so much, and if you're already a subscriber, I truly appreciate your ongoing support. Now let's get back to the video. Card number 5 is about the advantages of Amanda getting an office job, and I drew the world reversed. In the upright position, the world card is about reaching the end of your journey. It is a card about completion, fulfillment, happiness, enlightenment, and success. It signifies somebody who has reached an important destination in their life and is ready to move forward and achieve a new set of goals. If the world was in the upright position, I would say that working in an office would provide Amanda with a sense of joy and personal fulfillment, as well as giving her opportunities to grow. Sadly, in the reverse position, the world is not nearly as positive. I'm actually struggling to see how this is positive at all. In the reverse position, the world card indicates that her job will be unfulfilling, filled with obstacles, and not give her a sense of joy. And that's in the positive position. Card number 6 is about the cons of Amanda taking an office job, and I drew the 3 of Wands. Here we see Amanda overlooking ships in the harbor. This is often considered to be a card of freedom and possibilities, although I think that it means the opposite in this case. I read it as Amanda feeling stuck as the 3 wands look almost like prison bars that she is hanging on to. I think the only enjoyable part of this job is her paycheck. She's not really doing anything, she's just waiting. If her boss tells her to stand on a hill and count ships, that's what she does. There's a whole world in front of her that she's watching happen. It reminds me of an elderly person who is sitting by their window watching what happens on their street because they're too infirm to go outside and participate, and all they can do is watch life pass them by. I feel like the downside of the office job is that it is dull. Amanda will be constrained by policies and rules and basically watching the world go by rather than participating in it. There's not a whole lot of passion or creativity involved. Card 7 is about what Amanda wants, and I drew the Knight of Swords reversed. I have to admit this was a tough one for me. In the upright position, the Knight of Swords is about taking bold steps to get where you want to be. In the reversed position, it can signify feelings of stress, conflict, or lack of a clear direction. It can also be about making rash decisions that don't end up taking Amanda where she wants to go, although Amanda's thoughtful email does not make it seem like she's somebody who makes rash decisions. I spent a lot of time contemplating this card. This is why I don't like live readings, because I don't always get immediate answers. And it would be really boring for you to watch me stare at a card for 30 minutes or longer. Here's what I finally concluded that Amanda wants. She wants to stop the many negative thoughts that are holding her back and keep circulating throughout her brain. She's tired of thoughts that include beating herself up for staying home with her daughter, for not making as much money as her husband, for trying to determine the right career choice for her future, and for having dreams that she's afraid to go for. She wants to feel proud of herself for who she is and the choices she's made, rather than second-guessing herself, trying to satisfy her critics, or feeling that her self-worth is based on her paycheck. Card number 8 is Amanda's passion, and I drew Justice reversed. In the upright position, we have another card holding the Sword of Truth. It seems to be a theme of this reading, which is about Amanda trying to find her truth or her true calling. In the upright position, justice has three meanings that I think are applicable to Amanda. Justice can represent living a balanced life and taking care of your body, mind, and spirit, as well as your relationships with other people. Secondly, it can represent taking responsibility for your actions. I always think of this like Santa's naughty list. If you're good, you'll be rewarded. If you're bad, you'll get coal in your stocking. The third thing that justice can represent is fairness and finding the truth. I think that in the reverse position, all three of these points are blocking Amanda from following her passion. I don't feel like she's considering all the elements of a balanced life because she's fixated on money. I'm guessing this is related to her past. She mentioned that she was the oldest of 4 kids and her mother gave birth to her when she was only 17 and that her mother didn't finish high school. She grew up in a working class background and I'm guessing that money was tight. I am the oldest child of 4 and completely understand how important money is when you grew up without a lot of extras and why earning money is a huge motivator. I think this is why Amanda is so focused on earning money when she's looking at her options, even though she and her husband live comfortably. Another thing that Amanda doesn't spend a lot of time mentioning is her relationships, although it seems like she and her husband are doing well. But there are no cups in this reading, so I'm guessing that she is willing to sacrifice her relationship with her family and to some degree herself in order to make money. She does mention that she feels uncomfortable with her in-laws due to their closeness and wealth. I am wondering if that's why she's putting so much pressure on herself to make money. The second thing that the Justice card can mean is taking responsibility for your actions. So if we flip this to the reverse position, it can mean taking too much responsibility. I have to say this is a point where I struggle between reading the cards and projecting what I know from my own life. However, as the oldest daughter in a family with 4 kids in 7 years, I had a lot more responsibility than most of my friends. I know I assumed that a lot of things were my fault that really weren't, and took up responsibility for a lot of things that I shouldn't have. And I wonder if that's what's going on with Amanda. She's not letting herself experience her true passions because she's been so focused on trying to please other people and never learned that it was okay to focus on herself. The third piece of the Justice card in the upright position is about fairness. In the reverse position, this translates to unfairness. And I think that Amanda is so focused on making sure that she's doing her fair share financially, as well as having to justify all of the work involved with staying home with her daughter, that she's not willing to look at what she really wants to do. In summary, I feel like Amanda has a lot of passions, primarily related around teaching in Asia and opening a learning center. Justice reversed indicates that Amanda is more focused on trying to contribute financially to their household than following her passions, even if it means taking a low-paying job in healthcare. Card number 9 looks at Amanda's path forward, and I drew the 4 of Pentacles reversed. In the upright position, the 4 of Pentacles is a card about financial security and material success. It shows someone who has a lot of self-discipline and is able to conserve his resources in the physical realm. This person has a stable job, a nice home with a manageable mortgage, a robust 401k, and makes sound financial decisions. Yet, once again, we see a reverse card that we can apply to Amanda. In the reverse 4 of Pentacles, we have someone who experiences financial insecurity or is so focused on finances that they don't spend enough time on relationships or other parts of life. I think this is completely true of Amanda. She needs to understand that there is more to happiness than money. The other issue with focusing solely on money is that you don't give yourself credit for your non-financial achievements. Amanda has clearly lived a very interesting life and has a good education. She's in a loving marriage and seems to be a good parent. She's made good choices in her life and has been successful in several types of careers. This is even more impressive given that she was brought up by a teenage mother and, I'm guessing, had a lot of responsibility for helping with her siblings. In summary, Amanda's path forward means that she needs to focus on more than just money. She needs to give herself credit for the things that she has done and do some soul searching about what she really wants in life beyond just making money. So let's do a quick summary. We looked at 3 potential career paths for Amanda to help her feel proud of herself, beginning with going to graduate school. Amanda clearly has the skills to do this and to be very successful academically. The downside is that she's not sure what she wants to study. Another issue is that she already has a great deal of education, so I'm not sure that earning another degree is what's keeping her from feeling proud of herself. The second potential career path is starting her own business. This was the most promising as the sun indicates that it would lead to both personal fulfillment and financial success. The downside is that she has some limiting beliefs that she needs to overcome. The final potential career path is getting an office job. The cards indicate that this would be dull and unfulfilling. The overarching theme in this reading is Amanda's desire to make money, which she believes will help her feel proud of herself. I actually think that what she really wants, as shown in card number 7, is freedom from negative thoughts about herself. She needs to recognize that her self-worth goes way beyond a paycheck. Card number 8 looked at Amanda's passions, which she has, but I don't think she ever let herself pursue. Finally, we looked at Amanda's best path for the future, and that is to look at her goals holistically and accept that there is more to life than making money. I'd like to thank Amanda for opening up about her life and hope that she gets benefit from this reading. As I mentioned earlier, if you'd like your own reading, please email me at the Gmail address in the comments. I also hope that this video will give you some ideas that you can apply to your tarot practice. Please leave a comment if you'd like to share what you learned. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.